If you're wandering around the gym, looking at the equipment in complete disbelief because you don't know what you're doing, then this video is for you. How are we? I'm Will Russ, now personal trainer, former professional footballer, and I'm here to simplify the complicated fitness industry for everyday people like you and me. Today, I'm going to be going through a simple gym program that you can follow so that you actually feel comfortable when you next step in to a commercial gym. So the first thing that we need to focus on when finally going into the gym and having the courage, because it does take some courage to step into the gym, especially if you're not that confident or you're going by yourself or whatever the case is, yeah, or maybe you're a bit self-conscious. The first thing we need to worry about is our exercise selection, all right? I'm gonna go through the 6 movement patterns that I believe everyone should be doing. So first off, we've got squat variations. So this could be a bodyweight squat, a goblet squat, a barbell back squat, a front squat, a split squat, a leg press, a single leg press. There's loads of different variations of a squat that I want you to be doing, all right? I'll go through a couple in the video, but squat variation. Second is a hinge variation. So these are things like a deadlift, a trap bar deadlift, a Romanian deadlift that can be used with a barbell, a Smith machine, dumbbells, okay? So again, different variations of a hinge. So third thing we're gonna go is a vertical push. So this could be a seated shoulder press machine, a standing barbell overhead press. This could be a seated dumbbell shoulder press, any of those 3. Then we're gonna go on to a vertical pull. So a vertical pull is a lat pull down. It's a assisted pull-up machine. It's a banded pull-up, a bodyweight pull-up, a weighted pull-up, anything where you're pulling either vertically down or you're pulling yourself vertically up. Our 5th movement pattern is going to be a horizontal push. So this could be a dumbbell bench press where we're laying flat on our back. This could be a seated chest press. This could be a push-up, anything along those lines, okay, where we're pressing horizontally. And then our 6th one, our 6th movement pattern is going to be a horizontal pull. So this could be a single arm dumbbell row. This could be a cable row. This could be a pendlay row from the floor. Again, different variations of a horizontal row or a horizontal pull. Okay, so now I've explained the exercise movement patterns that we should be looking to follow. I'm going to give you a couple examples for each one that you could use in your workouts, all right? So first one, squat variation. So we're going to go for a goblet squat, okay? I'm going to use a dumbbell, or you could use a kettlebell upside down, and you're going to hold it in the base of your hands. You're going to go fingertips on top. I want my feet just outside the width of my hips. I want my toes slightly turned out. Imagine on a clock that your toe is on 11 and 1 on a clock, okay? From here, I'm going to focus on keeping my chest up. I'm going to push my hips back, squat down until my hips are level with my knee. Then I'm going to stand up. Again, I'm thinking nice and controlled on the way down, no rush. Little brief pause at the bottom, coming up. A lot of you only come down so far and you wonder why your knees are knackered, your back's hurting, or you're just not making any progress. I want full range of motion, so nice and controlled, until our hips are down level with our knee, exploding up. Keeping this dumbbell relatively close to your chest, all right? That's a goblet squat. Hinge variation, okay? Just on the squat variation, now onto the hinge variation. So I've got 2 dumbbells for this one. I'm gonna have my feet fairly narrow, so they're almost like just underneath my hips, okay? So inside hip width rather than outside hip width. So inside hip width, I'm gonna think about engaging my back muscles and my lats, nice proud chest. I'm gonna have a soft bend in my knees, my feet are flat on the floor. I've got a soft bend in my knees. I'm gonna think about pushing my bum and my hips back. As I do that, I'm letting my torso tip forward until I get a stretch on my hamstrings, and then I'm gonna drive my hips forward into the dumbbells, okay? So again, I'm engaging my back muscles. I've got a soft bend in my knee. I'm slowly pushing my bum and my hips back, keeping my feet flat on the floor, keeping these dumbbells nice and close, driving my hips forward. Again, nice and controlled on the way down, taking your time, and then driving forwards, okay? Now we're on to a seated shoulder press machine. So this is gonna be your vertical pushing exercise, okay? So on this one, again, there's a few things we can adjust. You've got the seat position you can adjust, Anything that's relatively vertical, you're gonna be good to go. If you wanted to have this down slightly because it was better for you, then you could do. You're gonna pick an appropriate weight. I'm gonna think about tucking my elbows underneath because I want my elbow stacked below my wrist and my fist. Okay, I don't want my elbows back like this, flared out. I want them underneath my wrist and my fist. From here, I'm gonna have, again, shoulders back, proud chest. I'm gonna, with my feet, I'm thinking about pushing myself back into the bench, okay, whilst keeping my bum on the seat. So pushing back, engaging a bit of leg drive, keeping my bum on the seat, tucking my elbows underneath so they're stacked below my fist and my wrist, and I'm thinking about driving my hands up to the ceiling till my arms are locked, controlling it down, keeping my elbows tucked in under my wrist, driving up. Again, nice and controlled on the way down, exploding up. On every rep, I'm aiming to get a full range of motion. So that means locking my arms out or coming very close to locking them out and coming down to the bottom of the machine where my hands are basically just above my shoulder. All right, I'm gonna be going over how to do a vertical pull. For this one, I'm picking a lat pull down. In terms of the attachment, I've got one of these like mag grip attachments. Not that that means anything really, it's just a different variation. You could use some kind of neutral grip. You could use a wider grip if you wanted to, like these ones on the wall. I'm using a mag grip just because it was already on there, it's easier, okay? In terms of setting it up, I wanna make sure that when I take a seat on the machine, this knee pad is firmly pressed against the middle of my thigh, whilst my feet are flat on the floor, I've got 90 degrees in my knee, okay? Once I found that position, then I'm good to go. If it's not in the right position, then obviously adjust it. So, nice firm grip on whatever attachment you're using. You're gonna take a seat, get your legs in place. We're gonna be nice and upright to begin with. Just gonna think about bringing our shoulders back slightly, driving our elbows down, nice proud chest. Controlling it up until our arms are just about straight, driving down. Nice proud chest the whole time, okay? I don't want any excessive leaning back. I don't wanna be rounding my shoulders. I want to think nice proud chest, driving my elbows down, maintaining that position, controlling it up. Coming down a little bit quicker, controlling it up. Once I'm finished, I can slide my legs out. Now I can rest. Next exercise we're gonna go through is gonna be a vertical push. So, we said we'll do a dumbbell chest press, dumbbell bench press, whatever you wanna call. We've got a flat bench, I'm gonna be laying down on it, I'm gonna be pushing some weight up towards the ceiling. That's what we're doing, horizontal push. So, I'm gonna start with the dumbbells on my knees, all right? I'm sat at the end of the bench, I'm gonna think about kicking up with my strong side first. So that for me, that's my right side. So I'm gonna kick that up as I'm going back. I'm then gonna kick up my weaker side. I'm gonna lay back. I'm gonna think about pinning my shoulders into the bench. So I've got a nice proud chest. I don't want my elbows super tucked. I don't want them super flared. I want them in that kind of middle ground position. With my feet, I'm pushing myself up onto my shoulder blades. From here, I'm thinking about pressing up and then bringing my bicep across my chest, slightly at the top. The dumbbells don't need to bang and bounce off each other. As I press up, I'm just thinking about bringing my bicep across my chest until they're maybe about 1 inch or 2 apart, slowly coming down, getting that full stretch on the chest, and then driving those hands up. Once I'm finished, I can twist those dumbbells inwards, I can bring my knees up slightly and let the weight bring me up, I can stand up, and then place the dumbbells on the floor. All right, now we're moving on to our horizontal pull. So we've done a vertical pull on the same machine. This machine allows me to do a horizontal pull, which is gonna be the cable row. Okay, you could do a chest support row, T-bar row, pen lay row, dumbbell single arm row, whatever you wanted to do, but I'm gonna do a cable row because that's what I've decided to pick for this video. All right, so to do this, I'm gonna get a nice even grip on the bar, probably just that side shoulder width, nice solid grip. I'm gonna put my feet in place so that I can have a nice strong base. I'm then gonna focus on edging my bum backwards. If you've got a bit more of a smoother seat, you might just be able to push your bum backwards. But on this one, it's a bit more grippy, so I'll edge myself backwards. My knees are out of the way. Again, I've got a nice proud chest. I'm gonna drive my elbows out and slightly up to engage my upper back muscles a bit more. If I just kind of drive them low, it's a bit more of a lat row where I want to be targeting my upper back with a horizontal pull. So I'm going to think about driving and pulling this a little bit more towards my sternum. So I'm driving my elbows up and out, pulling towards my sternum, controlling it down.
up and out, flaring those elbows, nice proud chest though. And I'm not letting it pull me in, I'm not leaning back excessively. I've got a nice stable torso, driving my elbows up and out, pulling towards that sternum, controlling it down. And that's gonna engage my upper back muscles, which is what we're targeting on a horizontal pull. Once I'm finished, I can slowly edge my bottom back in, lean forward, and I can let the weight rest. All right?
Okay, now that I've gone through a few of the variations, again, you can use some that I've gone through in the video today, or you could go online and find your own ones, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Some stuff people pick up easier than others. Things like a hinge variation can be quite complicated to learn, or it might feel a bit unnatural. So finding a version of that you feel comfortable and confident in performing, especially if you're by yourself, then that's the best one to go with. So use some of the ones in the video, or you can always look at your own ones. How I'd split these up in a gym session would be based around 2 gym sessions a week, okay? So we're gonna go for 2 gym sessions. We're gonna say program A, program B, and I'd probably say you wanna leave at least one day, probably 2 days in between, okay? So let's say Monday and a Thursday, for example, that's what we're gonna go for. So program A on a Monday, program B on a Thursday. With program A and B, you're always gonna do a squat variation and a hinge variation. Now, if you wanted to do the same one, that would be perfectly fine. If anything, if you lack confidence, yeah, and you're maybe a bit uncomfortable in performing them by yourself, or you're a bit self-conscious that your technique's not gonna be right, I'd probably recommend performing the same one whilst you start out. When you get a bit more comfortable, you might be okay with performing different variations on each given day. But I'd probably say stick with the same one for the first 4 to 8 weeks, or until you feel a bit more comfortable, okay? So you can do a squat and a hinge on program A, squat and a hinge on program B. Program A, we're then gonna go for a vertical push and a vertical pull, all right? So you're only gonna do 4 exercises. Again, we're trying to keep it nice and simple. Vertical push, vertical pull. As a squat variation, you might do a goblet squat, for example, okay? Your hinge variation might be a dumbbell Romanian deadlift. Then your vertical pull might be a lat pull down, yeah? And then your vertical push might be a seated shoulder press machine. They might be your 4 exercises that you're gonna go with, okay? And then on program B, again, you'll do the same squat variation, so goblet squat, same hinge variation, so dumbbell Romanian deadlift. Now we're gonna do a horizontal push, horizontal pull. So for the horizontal push, I might go for a push-up, or maybe I'll go for a dumbbell bench press. Let's go dumbbell bench press. So dumbbell bench press, where we're laying flat on our back, and then the horizontal pull, let's go for a cable row, okay? So we've got 4 exercises on both days, all right? So 8 exercises throughout the week. In terms of how many sets, reps, and what rest periods you should have for those exercises, let's go nice and simple. 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps on every exercise. Yes, you can work through it, and I'd probably recommend you use different rep ranges across your sessions and across your exercises. But remember, this is nice and simple. You're watching this video because you struggle with what to do in the gym and knowing what to do. So if I start spouting out, all right, different rep ranges, or I give you a set number of reps on a certain exercise and I'll tell you to use a rep range on a different one, and I give you super low reps where you're gonna have to lift heavier loads, or I give you super high reps where your concentration might be falling out because you're working for a longer period of time. No, I'm gonna keep it nice and basic. 8 to 10 reps on all sets and all exercises, okay? Across both days. You can do your 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps. In terms of rest periods, let's go around 2 minutes. If it was slightly harder and you feel you need a bit more time to recover, let's go more towards 3 minutes, yeah? If you feel that that you're good to go after 90 seconds, so less than 2 minutes, you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough, all right? So let's say 2 minutes, 3 minutes if you're feeling a little bit more fatigued and you want a bit more recovery time to make sure that you can perform a quality set on your next exercise. Finally, once you've taken the time to learn the exercises and learn the technique and the skills required to perform the exercises properly, then you can start really pushing yourself. Of course, we want you to be pushing yourself from day one, but if as soon as you start pushing yourself and as soon as you start fatiguing, your technique starts breaking down, that's pointless. I'd rather you refine your technique over a few weeks until you get to the point where actually, once you start fatiguing, you're still able to maintain a good position and good technique, and then you start pushing yourself. So as a little bit of a recap, We've picked our exercises, the different variations of the 6 movement patterns that I suggested. You split it across 2 days. So you got program A, program B, okay? You're gonna be hitting all major muscle groups across the 2 days. You've got your variations that you should have picked by now. You know how many sets you're meant to be doing. 3 sets on each exercise. The rep range I want you to be working in. 8 to 10 on the rep range for each exercise. Keep it nice and simple, okay, so it's easy to follow. And then you're taking 2 minutes as a rough guideline. If you need a little bit longer because you were really fatigued, then feel free to take an extra 30 to 60 seconds, okay? So that you can keep the quality high. And then last point was making sure that you're able to push yourself as long as your technique is good enough. So take a little bit of time, don't worry about pushing yourself in the beginning so that you can refine your technique so that when you start scaling the intensity up, you can actually maintain proper form, proper technique and position when performing the exercise under fatigue. Follow me on Instagram. All this is in the description, by the way. Follow me on Instagram. I post on that every day. Yeah, if you want a bit more of a short form version of what I do, you feel like I ramble on too much or you just don't like the sound of my voice, then maybe Instagram's the way to go. All right. Also, that'll be the best place to get in contact with me if you want to ask any further questions or just interact with me in any way. I always post on YouTube once a week, same time, same day every week. So subscribe, turn that notification thing on. It will notify you when I post, or just come back every week, the same time of the same day, and I'll be here in front of this camera. If you'd like something a little bit more in depth, because maybe you've done some of my other free resources, or you just like some of my YouTube videos, or you've seen me on Instagram and you like what you see, or you'd be interested in speaking to me on a one-to-one basis, then you can book in a call in the description to speak about either your goals, your experiences, how I could potentially help you get to your goals or work through the experiences that you've had in the past. And if I can't, then I'm gonna try and push you in the right direction. Shout out Terra Gym, T-E-R-A Gym, local, exclusive, private gym in Southport. Really thankful they let me use their space to film so that I don't get interrupted by 15-year-olds or someone asking me how the toilets work or how the pin works in the gym, okay? So appreciate it. Bye for now.